Yo, what is good with y'all boys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm showing you guys the best rod progression guide inside of Fisch. Now, before we get to this video, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you guys do hype up this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get directly into this rod progression guide. Let's get it. Alright guys, now if you guys are unfamiliar with how Fisch progression works, basically it's divided into stages. So there's 10 stages in the game, and basically we're going to be going over the stage 1 rod first. So the first rod you're going to end up getting is going to be the carbon rod at Moosewood, and this is going to end up costing you 2,000 credits. Now, if you guys don't have 2,000 credits, you can simply just fish over here until you end up getting this credit. It's the easiest rod in the game to get. Just fish a little bit and then eventually just sell your fish. You'll be able to get this rod. This is a pretty solid rod. It's going to have 15% lure speed, 25% luck, 0.05 control, 10% resilience at 600 kilograms max kg, and yeah, that's going to be a very decent starter rod. So that's going to be the first rod you're going to want to end up getting for the stage 1 portion of the game, and then we can end up moving on to stage 2, which is going to be the next rod we're going to end up getting. Alright guys, now moving on to our stage 2 rod, basically what we're going to end up having to do is we're going to go over to Mushgrove Swamp. So you're going to want to talk to the shipwright and make sure you end up getting yourself a boat. And now we're going to end up heading over to the Mushgrove Swamp to end up getting the next rod, which is going to be the Fungal Rod. Now you might be wondering why we're not getting the Steady Rod, which is the usual stage 2 rod. And a lot of old rods actually did receive buffs, so you know this might look a little different than my last progression guide, but this is definitely one of the best rods you can end up getting in the game at this stage. So basically you're going to want to end up going over here. You're going to end up talking to this mushroom guy right here, and basically he's going to tell you to go get an alligator. So yeah, just go ahead and you know, conversate with him a little bit, and then he's gonna say you have to get a vengeance for his family. Then you could end up fishing up the alligator over here. I already have an alligator, so just go by this boat and fish it up, and then eventually you'll be able to talk to you and he'll give you the fungus rod or the fungal rod. So go ahead, hold this out right here, and then we're gonna end up getting the rod. So yeah, as you guys can see, I'm gonna just type it in right quick, and this is a pretty decent rod. The max kg is only 200, but you're gonna be able to have a 30% chance to end up getting a 5 times multiplier. It used to be a 1.3 times multiplier, but it's a 5 times multiplier now, so that's really good for stage 2 portion of the game. Also just decent stats, 40% lure speed, 45% luck, 0 control, 20% resilience. So yeah, this is going to be a decent ride, and it's going to carry you through the stage 2 portion of the game. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to stage 3. Alright guys, now moving on to our stage 3 rod, basically where we're going to end up having to go is going to be the Northern Expedition. So you're just going to want to hop on your boat from Moosewood and literally just head like between south and southeast, and you're going to want to end up going over here until you end up getting to the Northern Expedition. There's going to be like a big portal. It's going to end up teleporting you over there, and that's where we're going to end up going for this ride. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, now once you guys do end up making your way to the Northern Expedition, pretty much you're just going to want to end up following these ladders and climbing until you end up getting up over to the overgrowth cave. So it doesn't take too long to end up getting over here. Literally just follow these ladders, follow the path that it literally leads you in until you get over there. It'll probably take you like 2-3 minutes to end up getting up there, but that's where we're going to end up finding our next rod. So let's go ahead and do that right quick. Alright guys, now once you do end up finishing climbing, basically you're going to see this cave right here. When you end up following the path, you're just going to want to end up making a left, climbing up a couple ladders, and then right here is going to be the new rod. As you guys can see, this is the Avalanche rod. It's going to be 35,000 credits. It's a very good rod. You get a lot of bang for your buck. So let's go ahead and look at it. As you guys can see, pretty decent stats. 40% lure speed, 68% luck, 0.15 control, 10% resilience. But the big thing about this is the 65,000 kg, and it has the 25% chance to end up getting the sleep mutation, which is a 2.4 times multiplier. So yeah, you're gonna be able to catch yourself really big fishes. You're gonna be able to have the ability to catch rare fishes like the megalodon and stuff, and you'll be able to get that mutation, which is going to give you a lot of money, a lot of size. Very good rod for this stage of the game, and this is what I personally recommend. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next stage of the game. Alright guys, now moving on to the stage 4 rod, it's actually going to be one of the brand new Halloween rods we're going to end up going after, which is going to be the Spooky Rod. Now basically, in order to get this rod, what you're going to want to end up doing is end up going over to the new area. So you can end up talking to the Flying Dutchman, or you can end up using the Frightful Mirror, which you end up getting as soon as you log into the game. But basically, once you are here, what you're going to want to end up doing is talking to the witch lady right here. She'll be like by this cauldron, and basically she's gonna tell you have to put some stuff inside of her cauldron. Now in order to get these ingredients for the cauldron, pretty much you're gonna want to end up fighting these goblins around the main map. Alright, so we're gonna end up doing is teleporting back, and you'll be able to find these goblins. They'll be outlined, and there's one over here at Moosewood. So what we're gonna end up wanting to do is we're gonna end up heading over to him right there. So yeah, let's just go ahead and climb up here. We're gonna climb past these little ladders, and he's gonna be over here. Now they spawn all over the map, so don't count on it being in this specific location, but yeah, we're gonna want to do is do what he tells me to do. Now he's telling me to type in Goblins Rule in the chat 3 times, so we're gonna end up doing is typing in Goblins Rule. So Goblins Alright, type it in exactly as it says. My typing is a little slow. I'm gonna just copy and paste this, and then yeah, basically just type this in, and yeah, as you guys can see, let's type it in one more time. There we go. And once you do end up doing whatever quest he ends up telling you to do, you're gonna end up talking to him again, and he'll basically just disappear, and he'll give you the witch's ingredient. And there are a whole bunch of different trials. Some requires you to drown, all type of stuff. But yeah, basically once you do end up getting that, you could end up heading back over to the Halloween area. So I'm gonna end up using my frightful mirror to get back, and yeah, you're gonna want to give the witch some whatever you ended up getting from this. So let's just go ahead, type in the witch's ingredient, and we're gonna end up putting it inside of her cauldron. And basically you're gonna keep doing this until you end up getting the spooky rod. It's not a difficult rod to end up getting. Just do like maybe like 10-12 goblin quests. I'm not exactly sure how many it requires, but yeah, you're gonna end up getting yourself the spooky rod. And this prompt does end up popping up when the goblins end up spawning. But yeah, decent stats: 75% lure speed, 66% luck, 0.2 control, minus 10% resilience, and 150,000 kg. But the thing that makes this rod so good is you can get all of the brand new Fright Fest mutations from just fishing with the spooky rod, and all of them I believe are like 6 times multiplier. So yeah, this is a very good rod. But we can end up moving on. All right guys, now moving on to the stage 5 rod. There's actually a couple rods that you can end up getting, but the rod I'm going to end up recommending is going to be the Volcanic Rod. So what we're going to end up having to do is we're going to have to end up summoning in a ship. So you're going to want to scroll down until you end up seeing the submarine ship, and you're going to want to end up getting yourself this submarine. Now honestly, there's I'm not exactly sure how expensive the submarine is. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I kind of forgot. But you're gonna want to buy yourself the submarine and head over to Roslet Bay, and basically you're just gonna want to end up submerging yourself and diving down until you end up getting over to the lava volcano area. Now I'm not gonna lie, it does take you a little bit to end up submerging yourself all the way down to the lava area. It probably takes like 5-10 or not 10 minutes, like maybe like 3-5 minutes to end up getting down there. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do that right quick. We're definitely not gonna use the traveler's whistle to get down there fast. And yeah, I'll be right back. And yeah guys, basically once you do end up making yourself down here at the little volcano area, what you're gonna want to end up doing is literally just following the volcano path. So it's not too long. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not really a ridiculously long path to end up going through, but you do have to be careful because there are a lot of lava volcanoes and stuff all over the place, and if you do end up getting hit by one of them, it's gonna, I believe, insta kill you. I'm not gonna lie to you. So just be careful, make sure you're avoiding all of the lava. Make sure you guys do have yourself like a glider or something too. You don't need one, but I definitely recommend having one. I'm using the elite glider, which you end up getting at like level 1100 or something. So yeah, it's a pretty good glider. But once you do end up making your way past all of these volcanoes, you're basically gonna be met with a very big room. So it's literally just gonna be right up here past this volcano, and I definitely did just end up falling right there. I got a little scared. I thought it was gonna instant kill me. So it definitely does not instant kill you. But once you do end up making it over to this room, you can see the rod right over there. It's not too far, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But yeah, we're literally just gonna end up gliding over there, and hopefully we don't take no more lava damage. I'm not sure why my character is deciding to slow down, but yeah, this is gonna be right here. This is a very good rod too, by the way. But yeah, right here, it's gonna be 400,000. Pretty expensive, but trust me, it is worth it. It gives you 40% lure speed, 90% luck, 0.1 control, 15% resilience, 50,000 kg, and a 25% chance for the Ash and Fortune mutation, and that's a 5 times multiplier. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good for the stage of the game, and you're gonna be able to catch yourself some pretty big fish, and it's a 25% chance. So very good chances. Most of your fishes are gonna have that multiplier, but we can end up moving on. All right guys, now moving on to the next rod. Basically we're gonna end up making our way over to the rod crafting station, which is over at Ancient Archives, past this little waterfall area. But once you do end up making it over here, you're gonna want to end up descending down this hole right here, and we're gonna be going for the toxic squire rod, which isn't too difficult of a rod to get. It's a tad bit tedious, but it isn't a difficult rod to get in all honesty. Now once you are down here, basically you're gonna want to end up going over here past this little gate to the area, and you have to end up inserting those 4 fragments to end up opening the door. But once you do end up doing that, we're basically we're gonna end up going over here. Now as you guys can see, you're gonna end up seeing an anvil that's surrounded by like this greenish aura, and once you guys do end up going over there, this is where we're gonna end up crafting this rod at. So yeah, you do have to be level 50 as well to end up crafting this specific rod, but you're gonna want to go right here, and here it is right here. Now what you're gonna want to need is 3 items. You're gonna need a poison driftwood, a toxic core, and a murky thread. Now in order to get the poison driftwood, you have to end up fishing up a driftwood, which you can end up getting by, you know, having a trash rod like the trainer rod, and you're gonna want to use a bait like a garbage bait or something, and then you just fish anywhere and you'll basically be able to catch the driftwood. Not too difficult of a catch. Then you're gonna need a toxic core. You can end up getting this from the little underground jungle dungeon that's gonna be at the lost jungle area. I do have a guide basically covering that whole area, but you're just gonna want to end up going down to the lost jungle temple, and then you're gonna to want to do one of the trials, and that's going to be it for both of these. You're going to want to do trial 2 and or 4, 2 and 5. I think 2 and 5 are the trials you're going to want to end up doing. Then you're going to be able to get the toxic core and a murky thread, and that's going to be over at the Lost Jungle Temple, which you can end up descending at. And then you'll be able to craft this rod for 170,000 credits. As you guys can see, this is a very good rod. Let's go over to the toxic rod. Let's see. Okay, so 87% lure speed, 248% luck. This is the highest luck we've had. 0.3 control, which is really good. Negative 20% resilience, and then infinite max kg. I haven't used this rod much, but it does have a 15% chance to end up giving you the toxic mutation, which is an 8 times multiplier. It does have a 15% chance to freeze the fish as well. Has plus 70% progress speed, and plus 20% progress speed as well. So it's a really good rod you can end up getting at this stage of the game. And now we can end up moving on to stage 7. Alright guys, now moving on to our next rod is going to be the Illuminated Oath, and in order to get this rod, you're going to end up going down to the Illuminated Cavern. Now if you don't know how to get here, literally all you have to do is go down to the Desolate Deep area, but you're going to want to make a right until you end up seeing a bunch of pedestals, and then it'll ask you to end up importing these little keychains. Again, I do have a whole video going over this whole area if you guys do want to check that out, but basically once you do end up making it over to the Illuminated Cavern, you're going to see the sword right here. As you guys can see, it's going to end up being pretty cheap. It's 1.5 million, so it's not too bad, but basically you're gonna have to end up catching every single fish in this area, and then once you do end up completing this bestiary, you'll be able to buy the Illuminated Oath. And yeah, this is a pretty decent rod. I'm not gonna lie, it does have one of the best mutations in the game as well, the mastery mutation, which if you do a perfect catch, it's gonna give you a 16 times multiplier, 100% chance. Very good rod, and as you guys can see, these are the stats: 85% luck, or 85% lure speed, 100% luck, 0.18 control, 10% resilience, 25,000 kg. So yeah, decent rod, pretty good, and you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck. But we can end up moving on to stage 8. All right guys, now moving on to the stage 8 rod, basically you're gonna want to end up making your way back down to the Illuminated Cavern, or if you haven't left since stage 7, you could literally stay here, but pretty much you're gonna want to end up hooking a right, and basically you're gonna end up seeing the Cerulean Oath Rod right here, as you guys can see. Now in order to have this rod actually purchasable, you do need to go in the game during a starfall event. So either have somebody in your game use a starfall totem, or you can end up triggering the event by basically spamming sundial totems. Now it is a natural occurring event now, but yeah, basically just wait for this event to end up starting, and then you'll be able to buy this rod for 5 million. And yeah, this is one of the best stage 8 rods in the game. This is the rod you're going to want to use for admin events. That's why I definitely recommend getting this rod. It does have decent stats as well: 75% lure speed, 190% luck, 0.25 control, 35% resilience, infinite kg. But the main reason you're going to want to have this rod is because of the admin abuses. It has crazy slashes, so it's going to make admin abuses go very fast, very easy, and it's very good for catching those big, hard, difficult fishes. So yeah, stuff like the moss lurker or the cataclysmic rod, cataclysmic fish, you're going to want to end up using this rod. But we can end up moving on to stage 9. Alright guys, now moving on to our stage 9 rod, basically we're going to be going for the evil Pitchfork. Now you have to end up going over to the Crimson area, and if you don't know how to unlock this area, basically you have to end up getting a Crimson Blue Sea Dragon, which you can end up finding right over here where this guy is fishing at. You can it'll end up spawning there. You're going to want to catch it, then you're going to want to enchant it until you end up getting the Crimson one. But basically you're going to want to end up opening this gate by talking to that guy with the little dragon, and it's going to end up unlocking the Crimson biome. So what we're going to end up doing is literally just going past here, and I'm going to use this motorcycle because it's really overpowered. But yeah, basically just go ahead and go over to this area. Now in order to get this Pitchfork, is you have to end up completing this guy's quest line, which you're going to end up seeing as soon as we end up making our way over here. So yeah, pretty much I definitely could have just put some flippers on, but yeah, you're gonna want to make your way over here. You're gonna see this the Crimson King up here, and he's gonna ask you to basically do his little quest line. So you're just gonna want to end up talking to him. You're gonna want to get this sigil by doing the quest line, and he's gonna have you talk to these mushroom guys. Again, I do have a tutorial on my channel, more in-depth one, but you're gonna want to end up talking to these mushroom guys, and once you do end up completing all their quests, you'll be able to get the evil sigil. They're really easy quests, like collecting these plants, collecting crystals, fishing up certain fish. They're actually pretty easy, but yeah, once you do end up completing his entire quest line, you're gonna end up receiving the evil sigil. Now we can end up taking this evil sigil to the crafting area we ended up talking about earlier over at Ancient Archives, and then we can end up crafting this rod. So let's go ahead and head over there and end up crafting this rod. Alright guys, guys. Now once you guys do end up making your way back over to the crafting area, you can end up crafting this rod. It's going to be 20 million. It used to be free, but now it's 20 million, and then you end up giving him the evil sigil. Then you could end up getting this rod. Now this rod, there are a ton of really good reasons why you could end up getting this rod. Basically, it could end up making the fish 5 times its value. You can get money for catching fishes. It could give you the evil mutation, which is a 15 times multiplier. It can make your fishes big or even giant just off the catch with its passive. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of more in-depth of this rod. It's a pretty complex rod, but it's a really good rod. I definitely end up recommending. Get 150% lure speed, 120% luck, 0.1 minus 0.1 control, minus 10% resilience. So yeah, it doesn't look too good on paper, but trust me, it is a really good rod, one of the best. And if you can use this during admin events, it's definitely recommended, and it does have slashes as well. But we can finally make our way over to the stage 10 rod, which is the final rod we'll be getting for this progression guide, and we can end up wrapping things up. Now moving on to the final rod we're going to end up getting inside of this video. There's a couple you can end up getting for stage 10. You can go for the Onira Falx or the Wind Elemental or even the Tryhard Rod, but the rod I definitely recommend you end up getting is the Ruinous Oath. Now I'm not gonna lie, on paper this is probably the most difficult rod to get in the game, but it's not too difficult. Like people really over exaggerate how difficult it is to get this rod. It's not that bad. So basically you're gonna want to have 30 million credits, and you're going to want to end up basically shiny and sparkling catching every single fish in this bestiary. I think there's like 9 fishes, but yeah, you have to end up getting those fishes. Now if you don't end up perfect catching them, or like catching them shiny and sparkling, you could literally end up appraising them, and you can appraise your way through this entire shiny sparkling bestiary. But once you do end up finally having enough money, and you do finally end up getting all of the shiny and sparkling fishes in this bestiary, you can go ahead and end up getting the Ruinous Oath, which in my opinion is one of the best rods in the game. 95% lure speed, 500% luck, which is absolutely insane, 0.08 control, 25% resilience, infinite kg. And the main thing that makes this rod so good is just the fact that you can end up getting really big fishes with the mastery mutation. It has slashes. It ends up decreasing progress speed, a ton of passives. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best rods inside of the entire game. It's personally one of the rods I will 100% recommend. And if you can end up getting your hands on this rod, very good rod. And that's going to be all of the rod. And yeah, guys, that's going to end up ending off the video right here. I hope you guys did end up enjoying. Make sure you guys do smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, as I would really appreciate it. And it does help with the channel. But yeah, it's your boy Silver here, and I'm out. Peace.